for your girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We got to go out.
Pop for your girl. It's pop for your girl. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, the one, the only, Nwugochi. Welcome back to episode 3 of Pop for Your Girl. Yes, y'all, it is season 2, and I got a brand new episode for you guys. Today, we are talking about the art of supporting us. I know that make y'all think what we really gonna be talking. We going deep today, y'all. The art of supporting us. Who is us? Y'all know who us is, okay? So we gonna talk some more about that. But without further ado, I just want to let y'all know that I got a guest with me in the building, you guys. She is a phenomenal Black woman, okay? She is definitely somebody I look up to and admire, okay? She is a creative spirit that is known for her number one piece, the Frodotype, okay? I have one hanging up in my living room, you guys, and when I tell y'all it is the bomb, okay? She also is an abstract artist, you guys, and she does jewelry art and she does art apparel. She does stuff like clocks and light switches and anything that she can really get her hands on, she can turn that thing into art. You guys, let me introduce y'all to my friend, Miss Nicole Washington. What's going on?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited to have you on for season 2.
I'm excited to be here.
Look, we gonna talk. We really gonna dive deep, okay? But before we even get started, I just want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like I kind of introduced them to the Frodotype, but you know, this being, you know, Pop for Your Girl, we always have a segment called the Go Girl segment. And you are my Go Girl, okay? You're my Go Girl. So I just want to celebrate you first and foremost. And I want you to tell us a little bit about who you are and why art is so important to you.
So much to say.
Look, get up on that soapbox, sis. We want to hear it. Okay.
I'm going to start off by saying that I am a courageous and trusting and responsible and loving leader. Mm-hmm. That's who I am.
I love it.
That's who I am.
Yes.
I am a creative spirit, and I use art to, not only express myself, but to relate to people's experiences in life.
Woo. That is good.
Art has helped me in so many ways when I was down. I've been able to help other people with my art and inspire other people through my art.
That's good.
To the point where people have started painting because of my art and because of what I bring to them. And if you asked me 10 years ago what does art mean to me or who I am, I probably couldn't answer that question for you.
Oh, you know what? Like, I feel like art is such a huge expression of oneself. Like, it's kind of like you have to go to a vulnerable place, you know, and put yourself like out there for people to see, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's why, you know, I really truly give you this Go Girl sincerely, like seriously, because, you know, sometimes it's hard to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and just let people see your inside, like on a canvas, you know what I mean? And so for you to, you know, just take that leap to express yourself, like, girl.
That's where that courageous part comes from. You know, you have to be courageous to put it all on the table for others to see. And no matter what they think or feel, you know, it's about what you felt and thought in that moment of you creating that. And just because it doesn't sit well with someone else or it's not to the liking of one, someone else is going to find so much attraction and so much connection to that piece. You know, whatever it is.
Like one thing that this, and you know, we're talking about the art of supporting us today. One thing that is such a huge, you know, deal is, you know, women of color actually championing and, you know, breaking barriers in different industries. You being a woman of color in this industry, like, do you feel like we are well represented in this industry? Like, do you feel like there are enough of us, like, in the industry that you're in?
I feel like it's like half and half in any industry that Black women are a part of. Mm-hmm. You have Black women who they represent a different type of Black women that might not represent you and I. Mm-hmm. So, and this is not to discredit or put down any Black women. It's just that some things that some Black women may do, I may not feel comfortable with doing.
Right.
You know, and that separates us. So that creates that difference between us, you know, and how do I want to say this? Like, even just with the art itself, right? The prototype in itself was created with the intention to support women in being bolder, and being powerful, and being courageous, and being bold in anything that they put their mind to.
There's a sense of freedom behind it.
That's my favorite word,
girl. Like, I mean, you see it, like, when, you know, you even look at the painting, like, you see, like, there's a sense of empowering you to be free, you know. But let's talk about that a little bit before we go behind, you know, what we really gonna be diving deeper into. What does that mean, though? Like, when it comes to a African American woman, a Hispanic woman, a Asian American woman, any woman of color, like, you know, a minority, what does it mean for us to really be free in America? I just want to hear your thoughts. I mean, there's so many ways we could go with that, but I know what it means for me, but what does it mean for you?
For everybody, it's going to be a different response.
Right.
For everybody, it's going to look completely different. When I decided to stop responding to society's expectation of what I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to represent and what I'm supposed to look like and what I'm supposed to do and what I'm supposed to X, Y, and Z. When I stepped away and said, you know what? I'm not following those expectations. I have my own set of expectations for myself. So what do I look like following your expectations of me when I have my own expectations of me?
Go there. But no, that in a nutshell is what, you know, is my idea too. Like, coming out of that bondage that society tends to put on us. Like, you know, it's hard to really want to, like, when you're in a room full of people that don't look like you, it's so hard to really just be yourself, you know? And so that's one of the things, that's one of the foundations behind Pod For Your Girl, because this podcast is to build up, you know, the self-esteem of women so that we don't feel uncomfortable when we shouldn't.
Right.
We shouldn't feel uncomfortable to be us.
Nope.
You know, like, we should be allowed to be us no matter what, regardless of who, because I think the understanding plays a big part in, you know, the uncomfortability. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, but our comfort level when it comes to women of color being in, you know, society. Like, there are norms that have been set by us, by people that don't look like us. And so, you know, when we do anything that are norms for our culture, in their idea of norms, it's just like it kind of clashes, and then we dim our light. We start to become something else to make that comfort for them that level go up when it should
while
be
ours
like
is going down. Like, what type of sense does that make?
Like, sis, like, it's so real, and I think we need to start talking about it more. So that's why on this show we do the Patcho Weave segment, okay? Because look, it gets to the point where if I'm in public, I should be able to pat my weave regardless of who's around, regardless of the stank face that I'm going to get because they don't understand where the noise is coming from, regardless of how I look. If I look crazy, you know, like that should be something. Yeah, let me look crazy in peace. Like I shouldn't have to, you know, just be so, you know, dainty and restricted when, you know, just because I pat my weave or I may do certain things that, you know, fit the African American culture, it doesn't make me any less of a woman. Like I can still come into my job and perform the same way that any other culture, any other, you know, race can do. But sometimes we get looked at differently, like we should pretend, you know what I mean? And so that's what the Pat Your Weave segment is all about. And so, like I said, today we are talking about the art of supporting us. And so for the Pat Your Weave segment, it's about breaking that boundary, breaking that stereotype that causes us to say, you know what? I'm not going to, you know, pat my weave in public. So today I want to challenge y'all when it comes to the art of supporting us and breaking the stereotype that, you know, buying Black has to be only to support another Black owned business when it doesn't have to be that. I want to speak to every Black owned business, every woman of color out there that's trying to, you know, start a business or anything like that. I want to speak to y'all on today and challenge y'all to look at your worth. Look at your worth, because there is pressure to buy Black out there. So we're going to look at this today. We're going to dive into the pressure to buy Black versus a love for all things Black. Okay. So I want to ask Nicki real quick. Like, have you ever felt a certain level of pressure from our community, you know, to support Black owned businesses or to, you know, and what's your view on that? How it's presented to you?
I've definitely felt the pressure,
of,
you know, having to support Black, buy Black. Like, I don't think it's anything wrong with supporting Black and buying Black, but just because I'm supporting Black and going hard for it doesn't mean that I'm not open to selling white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It's open to everyone.
Yes.
But I think when we talk about supporting Blacks and buying Black, it's a reflection of yourself. It's, I see you. I see you because I see me and I know me. Knowing my self-worth.
Said a whole
you know,
full with that.
Knowing my worth and being able to say, you know what? I want to help this sister. I want to support this brother.
Yes.
Because they're out here putting in work.
Yes. And you see it. Yes.
You know? Now, where the pressure comes in is when some Black owners have the mentality of, I'm just out here trying to make $1.
Yes.
I'm trying to make the coins.
Yes.
And it's not all about that. Like, when you really put yourself out there and you're doing authentic work, you're being your authentic self, and you're putting out your best self, people will be able to see that. But if you're constantly just chasing the dollar, your performance might not be all of that. You know, you might show up in your true form, where people will be able to see you as clear as day.
Yes.
So, like,
that's good.
For instance, right? Where you have some people, either artists or just Black business owners, period, where they're so quick to say, you know what? Oh, you don't have to buy it for $100. I'll give it to you for $50.
Right.
Why are you lowering your self-worth?
Girl.
If you have a price on it, stick to it.
Stick to the price. Yes.
Stick to it.
Yes.
Like, it's one thing if you know, like, number wise, like, if you're able to let it go for that.
Yeah,
right,
if you're still going to make a profit, basically. Yes.
But if this is what you're constantly doing because you're just trying to get the dollar, you won't be successful.
Ooh, you just said a lot. Because at the same time, like, you're kind of putting a dollar amount on the worth of your brand or the worth of your, you know, creativity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And honestly, everything that you create is priceless. Like, you know what I mean? Everything that I'm a believer that everything that you put out there, somebody, the right person is going to see the worth in it, and they're going to be willing to pay that worth, you know, because they see it in the light. They see what you put into it. They see the manifestation, and they're like, you know what? That is valuable to me versus, you know, somebody else that's saying to themselves, you know, I see what she's doing, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and they try to, you know, haggle you or talk you down, talk you out of, you know,
like
what I
when
mean?
you go
Can
buy
you just-
Jordans, do you talk somebody down?
Come on. Come on.
Do you? When you going and spending all of your hard-earned money on these expensive brands, from people who don't even know you exist, where I'm creating things that are a reflection of you and I.
That's
so
good.
I'm telling you that I see you.
Yeah.
But you want my work, my effort. For a lower price. Why?
And that's the thing. Like, even with, you know, today's topic, like the art of supporting us, like there's a whole art behind it, you guys. It's not just saying that you have to buy from me because we're the same race, or because I make pieces that speak to, you know, the African culture or the Black culture, or, you know, whatever. Like, you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me that. Now, if I am rising above, you know, your expectations of me, or if my quality meets my standards, then or meets your standards, then there's a certain level of value that you should have as an individual. I'm not even going to just speak to the Black community at this point. Anybody, like, if you see quality, if you see something that, you know, it's worth that much to you, you're gonna say, I don't mind paying that much. You know what I mean? And you do it proudly. You know what I mean? Like, because you see the level of worth, you see the level of opportunity, you see it as an investment so much so.
And you can see the emotion.
Yes.
That goes into it. I think that's a big deal for me. Like, most of the things that I create comes from how I'm feeling. And sometimes it's hard for me to let go of my pieces because there's an emotional attachment to it. Right. You know? But going back to you speaking not only to the Black community, there's been times where, I mean, I specifically remember this one time, this white guy came up to my booth and was like, oh my gosh, I just love your stuff. I'll take one of those. I'll take one of these, and I'll take that. And was super proud to just pay for it, appreciate it,
girl,
and go about his day. You know? And then I experienced different.
I know.
But I don't love you any less because you don't see the value in it. But then that goes back to my point of the self-value.
Yes.
You know? And again, my stuff might not be appeasing to you, you know? But someone is going to see that value in it, you know? And I think it's everybody's responsibility to hold themselves accountable with their own self-worth. Right. Which will support them in supporting us. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I 100% understand that. But I want to pause real quick. We're going to pause right here because I feel like your mic is a little bit low.
Oh. Hello?
Huh. Okay, now I can hear you though.
Maybe I should just move closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
But go back again and then say something?
Yeah. What about now?
Okay, yeah. When you move closer, it's better. But
it's better. Okay.
I don't want you to always have to sit like
so
that.
So let me can I scoot?
Yeah, or you can move it.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, is that better?
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, because now I can hear you because I'm like, dang, I don't want to keep talking and then, you know, we listen to it later and it's bad. Okay.
Okay.
All right, back on. So, where we was at, but I'll just pick it up. But no, that is so real. Like, just having us, you know, create like a certain level of value, like for our community, like, and just continue. I think just even us supporting each other, like, and I'm gonna touch on this real quick. The painting that I bought from Nicki, it was not a cheap painting, okay? But at the end of the day, I didn't really even care, like, because I knew that I wanted it. Like, I saw her work before, and I was like, dang, like, I want one of her pieces, but where would I put it at? Like, I want something that's gonna fit the ambiance to the home. And it just so happened, y'all, she made a piece that is my favorite color. And when I tell y'all, I have this teal all throughout my house. Like, she so happened to create that piece, and I saw just a little piece of it.
She put her name on that thing before it was even finished.
Before it was even finished, I was like, I have to have the piece. Like, I know, because when I first saw the prototype, I knew I think even way back, like even like a year or two ago, I kind of like hit you up and I was like, oh, like, how do I get one? Or like, how do I order? Or something like that. But I just never, went through with it, because I knew, I was like, I want it to fit the colors in the house and stuff. But when I saw it, and then I knew she does this art gallery, I guess we could call it, where it's called Freedom of the Froze, or event. She does an event called Freedom of the Froze, where she displays her pieces and all that good stuff. And so she was getting ready for it, and she put like just a piece of the painting, not the finished product.
A little taste.
She teased us on Instagram with it. And I just was like, ooh, like, those are the right colors. Like, that's mine. I hit her up in the inbox, and I was like, do not set, this
Girl,
is mine.
And so many people was hitting me up like, oh, I want that one. And I was like, oh, you gotta wait until the day of the event. And then when we got in there, we were setting up, I was like, do not sell this painting to anyone, okay?
I would have been upset, okay? But the thing is, like, I didn't even ask her, like, how much is it? Like, I didn't even really care. I just knew when we got there, whatever price she gave me, I was going to meet the request, like, period, because it spoke to me. Like, I knew it was something that I wanted. It had value to me, even before I even seen the whole look. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that as a culture, like, when we create meaningful things, and we put like our heart and soul to it, regardless of what it is, it will speak to somebody. And definitely. Even with me, like, I could have been like, when I got there, do I really want that? I could have backed out or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was a certain level where I was just like, I don't want to just support her because she's Black or because I know her or anything like that. I want to support her because I want to see her go to the next level, because her work is the bomb. And so it just, even just speaking to that, like, not just saying like, we just gonna support you because of the color of your skin, but giving them the recognition, because it's good. Like, you're not good because you're Black. You're good and you're Black. You know what I mean? Like, you're good and you're Black. You're not, that just because of the color of your skin doesn't mean that, I have to support you, because then I take away from your gift, and I take away from your craft. I take away from your talent when I do that. Oh, I'm just buying this because she's Black, because the painting looks like me. Like, no, like, I see so much more. But then the icing on top of the cake is that I still get to support my sis. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't ever want to take that away from any Black business, when it comes to, me just supporting you because of the color of your skin, because I feel like then we enter into the double standard thing. Yep. And which we can talk about all day. Yeah. But I don't want to even dive deep into that. But how do we break these barriers? Like, how do we really, because we talked about the problem, we've talked about, value and stuff, but how do we practically do it? Like, we could tell somebody all day that, we want them to do something, or you should add, value or lift the quality or whatever in your business, lift the quality in your creativity. However, you know, I don't know, like, how do we do that as a community practically, you know, break these art barriers?
I mean, you have to do the self-work first. Mm-hmm. You can't show up for somebody and you haven't shown up for yourself.
Girl, that's real.
How does that work? Especially in this day and age. How does that work?
It doesn't.
We all have to individually do our own self-work.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about digging deep.
Yeah.
Dealing with things that you didn't know existed, or you act like you didn't know existed. Things that you need to address from your past in order for you to unlearn some of the behaviors that we display. Learning to re-love ourselves with what love really embodies, not what we were taught.
Come on, girl.
Because I could go 3,700 different directions with this. But it's about doing the self-work first. Yeah. And then showing up.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's one of those things where, and it's not an overnight process.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes people, they start the self-work, you know what I mean? But because it doesn't change overnight, or because they don't see the growth, they don't see, like, you know, the manifestation, you know, and I'm speaking as a culture right now, not just even the individual, but, you know, we have like a lot of things going on in our society, you know, Black men getting killed left and right. And it's like, even with the whole Black Lives Matter things, like, people don't see the work, like, you know, in the culture overnight. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, Black Lives Matter, let me just throw in the towel, all lives matter. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you know, and so progression, even when we think about the civil rights movement, when we think about, you know, things like that, and then when we think about attacking the industries, like small industries, like, and large industries, like the art industry, like, the thing about it is, like, okay, me and Mike went to Paris like a few years back, and we went to the Louvre, right? The Louvre Museum where the Mona Lisa is. And when I tell y'all, there were no, like, Black artists represented. Like, I think the only thing that we saw that really represented anything like Black was like artifacts from Africa, and it was like Egypt's like mummies, like tombs and stuff like that. But as far as, like, you know, like Van Gogh and like Picasso and stuff like that, like, it's like, well, where are we? Like, you know what I mean? Like
where's our shine? Where's our war?
Where's our,
and you know what? There are a lot of great Black artists. Girl. It's like, why are we taught that growing up, no matter where we are? Those are like the first types of paintings that we see. Yes. You know, they don't show us art that looks like us. I just don't get that part. Girl. You know? But there are a lot of great Black artists. Yeah. We just don't get the recognition on the level of those artists, you know, that came from those times. I mean, it's like, it's kind of like it's almost put in its own category of art. Like, we're minorities even in certain industries. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the art industry has a minority section. The designer industry has a minority section. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't Chanel, you know, but we'll give you, you know, this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could be over here. Like, you could still be a part of. Why can't I just be as great?
Yeah, like, we can't.
Why can't I just be as great? Knowing that I am great.
Knowing that we great.
Like, why can't I just be great?
Like, and it's and it goes back to that, like, I feel like one of the things as a community that I want to challenge us, like the art of supporting us, is that we have to fight for it long enough to see change. Like, we don't fight for it long enough to see the change that's actually needed. You know what I mean? Like, we tear down some walls And then it's like,
we
this
get
is
to
good
another
enough.
brick, but you get to another brick wall, it's kind of like, oh, I'm here again.
Yes.
Instead of keeping up that momentum and continuing to fight.
To rise, like, regardless. Girl, it's so real. So, you know, we could keep on talking about this. Like, we might have to do a part 2 or something like that, because it's
levels.
It's levels. Like, we can't get to a certain level and then stop. I hope y'all listening out there and y'all feeling us on this. Like, this is motivation to, you know, not just become the VP and say, you know, well, there's never been a woman a black president in the US that's a woman, you know, and we get the VP level and we okay with that.
Right.
Like, no, we're not just okay with that. We trying to get the president level. You know what I mean? Like, we trying all of it. Okay. We need to be up in the White House. We just not trying to be the first lady. Like, we trying to be the president too. You know what I mean? And so I think that, you know, as a culture, we just have to learn to continue to fight for what we believe in long enough till there's change, and not just throwing the towel so early. So, okay. But that's my little Pat Your Weave segment on breaking down barriers in the art culture, breaking down barriers when it comes to, you know, just believing as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, or, you know, even as a brand, if you have like a personal brand, that, you know, you don't have to settle for less. You don't have to settle for somebody buying your stuff or buying into your brand just because you're Black. Like, no, sis, you have so much more to bring to the table, and step that quality up, step that level, go to the next level, be able to challenge yourself so that people see your value and they're willing to pay the value that you are worth. Okay. Because you worth it. You worth it, sis.
I mean, it's not an overnight success or overnight change, you know, but you have to be willing to put that work in. I mean, if you really want the change, you have to put the work in.
Yes.
And we can't wait for validation from somebody else to say, okay, now you're good to go to that next level of you.
Yes. Oh my God. Validation.
You have to work on it, you know, and create that vision for yourself to say, you know what, this is what it's going to look like when I get to that next level of me.
Oh my God.
And that's because you're empowering yourself.
That's good.
Motivating yourself.
You're speaking life. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Into yourself.
Yes.
Not waiting for someone else to speak it into you.
Oh my. Conditioned to wait for somebody to give us to pass us the baton, instead of, you know, just going. Like, we don't even have to wait, like, run your own race and just, you know, go after it. Like, woo, girl, it's just real. But, you know, even, okay, so the next segment, we are going to shift into the next segment, is the Lift Every Voice segment, which focuses on, you know, just community, which we've been kind of talking about, but, you know, just giving back to the younger community or the people around you, like people that, you know, see you on a daily basis. How can you help them to manifest? Or, you know, everybody doesn't think like you. Everybody doesn't think like me. We're having this conversation, but are other people having this conversation? Right. So what can we do to lift our voice and, you know, make sure that we're being a voice to the community? And so what I want to ask you when it comes to that is, what would you say to, you know, a younger version of yourself? Like, I know it's a lot, but what would you say, like, to somebody who is just now starting off as an artist, or, you know, faced with these barriers, and they see it and things don't really seem attainable for them because of society? You know, what would you say to them?
I would say, do not allow someone's no to be your no. Do not allow someone else's value of you become what you define your value as.
Say that again, sis.
Do not allow someone else's value of you become the level that you perform on. Oh my God, especially when you know you're so much greater. Yes. I feel like we're all born with greatness inside of us. It's just, what are you going to do with it? When are you going to find it? Yes. You know, don't ever give up. Girl. Just because one door closes in your face does not mean that all of those doors are going to keep closing. You have to believe in yourself before anybody else is going to believe in you.
Yes, ma'am. And, you know, one of the things, like when you say that, I just, you know, think about generational wealth. And I think about how our community, you know, we didn't really have that. Like, we don't really have that generational wealth, you know, passed down. And so when we think about value, when we think about, you know, our worth and whatnot, like for some people, that worth is literally passed down. Like, and I'm not just talking about financially, I'm talking about the mentality of, you know, this is your value. This is what you are worth. You know, this is what I have instilled in you from what I built. This is my legacy that I'm passing down to you. So it's a little bit easier, and I'm not talking down to you if you had a legacy, if you had a, you know, I don't know, any type of finances. I'm trying to think, what's it called? Like stocks and bonds, not stocks and bonds, but hedge fund. Is it a hedge fund?
Is it?
See, you know, we ain't have it passed down to us.
No, we don't got it.
We don't know nothing about that. But some people, like, they have like, you know, those things, like, it's just set up for them. Like, they have an account when they get a certain age. Like, they just, you know, they have everything that they need to, you know, move forward. So you can't tell them what they worth, right? Because their parents already done gave them everything. Like, they know what they're worth. They know what they're getting. But so for us, there's a little bit more of a sense of, I want to say, vulnerability there. When you talk about don't allow somebody's no to be your no, like, it's easier to do that when no one ever instilled anything in you to tell you that you're more than that no. You know, it's easier to just accept, oh, okay, they told me no, so I can just accept it because.
But you know what? I think we all have that little voice. Well, not everybody has that little voice in there. I just learned that not so long ago. But there's always this feeling when you know something about yourself.
I know what you're talking about.
When you know.
Yeah.
So just because I'm constantly telling you, like, you're not good enough, you're not going to be anything, but I have that feeling in me that I am going to be something and I am going to be great. Once that feeling and your mental capacity and your mental state starts to evolve.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I feel like that's when you can start to
You're right.
Self-love and show not only to those people, but to yourself. Yeah. That feeling that you was having. It was your greatness.
Yes. Woo! Come on.
You know, so I feel like, yes, you do have some people who are not fortunate enough to break out of that mental state of being small. But then you have some people who fight for it.
Yes.
To break out of that.
Yes.
Because it's been passed down to me doesn't mean it's right.
That we can stay. Yeah, I have to stay there. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. And it goes back to kind of what you were talking about earlier, like doing the self-work, you know, and that then we can look at it more of on a personal note, you know, versus like on a wider note when it comes to the community, but on a personal note, like this is where that comes in.
Yeah.
Like my self-worth and my identity, but before I even go into, you know, starting to create art, you know, I can work on me. Yeah. You know, come up out of that mentality that I am small so that I can do big things. That's good, sis. I like that. I like that. Okay, that's good. That's
But
good.
You know what I was going to say too? Like that self-worth, I think that ties into how you can support your community. if you're working on that same working within that same mentality that we was just talking about, how are you going to benefit your community? If you feel super small, if you're not hard. Really,
it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Yeah, because you can't, it'll kind of be like a crab in a bucket type of mentality when, you ain't really worked on yourself. So, you trying to help somebody else, but, both of y'all don't really have the tools that y'all need because, you can't help that person that's lost if you are lost too. So, that's good. Like if you want to help your community, help yourself first. Help yourself first.
Now, ironically, there are some people, and I know somebody like personally who but this is still like placing some type of validation or waiting for validation from someone else. Someone who actually goes into the community and does community work, but feels, like crap about themselves.
Wow.
But going into the community to do work, they find some type of, like a sense of self. But it's still not enough for them to understand and realize the value within themselves. And again, how does that all connect to continue to support us?
Girl. And that is one of those things where it's just like, and I'm so big on even like mental health because, emotion is real. Like things that, trauma is real.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like all of those things are real. And so even our community, like just conditioning ourselves, like when it comes back to, helping somebody else, like it's nothing wrong with saying, sis, I think you need to go to therapy, or sis, I think you need to, this may not be a problem that you can fix on your own. Yeah. Like, you need to venture out and get other help so that, you may be fixing their lives or helping your community out because you have that wisdom. Okay. Because, you can have wisdom, but at the same time, like, is your mental okay? You know what I mean? And so are we doing ourselves a disservice, when we are just, when we, that starts to become a job, like us reaching back to the community becomes a job, and it becomes something that's religious, and it becomes something that we can kind of put ourselves on autopilot and do. But at the end of the day, we're still a part of the community too. Yeah. So, who is helping you? Right. At this point, like, where are you getting your help from? And so, I say all that to say it's a full circle type of thing. Like, we can only succeed if we realize that circle and, not just stop at what we're doing in the community, but making sure that we are including ourselves in the community and getting the real help that we need so that we can continue to function and that circle can continue to, thrive. Girl.
That, you see, that's something else that's been passed down too. Like telling us Black people don't get therapy. How many times?
They shame you for it, kind of. Like it is. And I think it just now got to a point where it's acceptable in the Black community.
In 2020.
And it ain't even all the way there yet.
Right. There's still a lot of shame.
It's still a lot of shame.
Wanting to share that they get therapy.
Yes.
There's shame with people saying, I need therapy. It's okay.
It's okay. Like I think it's been looked at as you're crazy for so long that, it should be looked at like, so what if I'm crazy? Like, at least I'm getting the help for it. At least I'm not always going to be crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but when you stay there, you stay in that place, you're no good to anyone else. Or you could be good, like with your scenario that you use, like you have somebody that's on autopilot. You could be good to other people because your wisdom isn't going anywhere. However, are you good to yourself? Right. And for how long are you going to be able to run on autopilot? Because we're still human and we all have our breaking points. Yes. Like we all have our breaking points. So, I think it's when we think about community, when we think about lifting every voice, it's just being vocal about those things. Like, we can't, you know, even with you and your art, like we want you to be in your best place so that you can keep producing your best pieces, and I can keep purchasing them and keep and keep supporting us. Like we want to support us, but you know, we have to make sure that, you know, it's internal as well as external too.
In order for us to support us, we have to support us.
We have to support us. Amen. That's real.
Serious.
That's that circle right there. That is 100% real. So, yes, y'all, stay encouraging to your community. Lift each other up, give each other support, but as well, make sure that you are supporting yourself and you're taking precautions to making sure that you are in your best self and you living your best life. Yeah. Okay? All right. So, and with that being said, our last segment, we always leave with the thought of the day, y'all. The thought. Done? Yes, we almost done. But this was a good conversation. Like, Nicki is coming back, y'all. We're going to talk about more stuff. So just be ready. Just be ready. You coming back, right?
Oh, most definitely. Okay. Without a doubt.
Okay. So the thought of the day, you guys, is, are you changing your mentality of worth to level up your value? This is the challenge, you guys. Change your mentality of worth so that you can level up in your value. And it's not just, you know, your external. It is internally. You know, change your perception of what you think about yourself, of how you view yourself. Like, one thing that I love about Nicki's pieces, the prototype, is that it's just so freeing. Like, you see this African-American woman, and she, in all of the pictures, she has this really big fro, you know, and it's just, you can tell that, yes, you can tell that, you know, she loves herself. She loves who she is. And the thing about it is that is the value right there. That's the value. The fact that her photo, the woman in the photo knows her worth, that's what makes it valuable. Like, and so, you know, I don't know, like, you see,
that was like, oh,
like, it's just like, she even, like, everything down to her smile, like her little smirk that she got going. It's like, yeah, like, I know I'm bad. I know that I'm a boss. Like, I know that everybody around me win. Like, we win. Like, you got something to say about this fro, and what? I'm still gonna walk into this corporate office with this fro. You don't like these bright colors, and you know, like, that's the attitude that I get from that. And then she knows her worth, and then, but that is valuable. Like, it's valuable to me. And so, I don't know.
It's like, so funny you say that, because that's literally how I walk into work every day.
Hey.
That's how I walk into work, or walk into anybody's room.
Yes. And that's
where people stare.
Come on. They do.
And I walk with my head high.
Girl.
I remember my prototype. And why I created it, when I started creating them, how it's been supportive to other, not just women, to men too, of all races.
Yes, because men need to see that.
Yeah, they always ask me, so you gonna make one for the guys?
I can say, look, I wouldn't be mad at it. King and queen, okay? Like, I wouldn't be mad at that. Let me know. Let me know when you working on it. Because that wouldn't be, I would not be mad at that. Yeah. Like, it's just, you know, we need that. We need that. It's kind of like a self-help painting. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and when I tell y'all, like, it's just a whole vibe in my living room. Like, when I look at it, it's just like a certain level of, remember that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
that's
remember.
Period. That's it.
Girl. Like, but we need, and our culture, our society, we need that.
Are we going into details in this segment?
Yeah. Okay. Go say what you say now.
You know, there was this video floating around Instagram of that little girl the lady was doing her hair. It was a little black girl, and this black lady a black stylist was doing her hair, and the little girl seen herself in a reflection, either a mirror or the phone, and she said she was ugly, and she started to cry. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes because no little girl should feel like that. No. And so this woman stopped what she was doing. She just held on to that little girl and just reminded her how beautiful she is. And, you know, not to let anybody tell her any differently. Like, why should a kid feel like that? Oof, girl. And actually, you know, I've made some little girls with this prototype. What? With little puffs.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes. I've seen it.
I don't do it too often, but I've done it for little girls too, and because they need to be reminded.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It starts at that age. Kids are like sponges. They pick up on so much.
Yes.
They pick up on everything they see us do. Yes. So why not put some positivity and force some positivity into themselves so they don't have to go out into the world looking for it.
That is good, because I remember growing up, like, we didn't have that. Like, we really and truly did not. Like, all of my Barbie dolls were white. Period.
Like, except I had a Kenya doll. I did have one Kenya doll.
I had that.
But the other ones were white.
It was rare. Like, it was very, very rare that I even had, like, there was never black dolls of that. Like, they were either sold out or, like, you know,
it just wasn't a thought to pick the black doll up.
Yes. Like, and it's so weird that, you know, America we are just now coming to a level of diversity that we should have always been at. Like, now you may find more black dolls or whatever. Like, people are starting to cater to stuff like that a little bit more. But for the most part, when it even comes to Hollywood with movies and when it comes to pretty much any industry, the fashion industry, like, even with me doing a Frentic and everything, like, that's one of the reasons why, because we have so many things that just cater to the European culture, and we don't have nothing. But, you know, this country was built on us. I ain't gonna say that.
No, it needs to be said. Remind everyone. Remind the people.
Look.
Remind them. And
that's
pat while you at it.
Look. I mean, but it was built on us. And it's just like, but we still have to fight to even have diverse stages and have, you know, things that represent us in every industry and every, you know, piece of the US. And it's just like, man, like, you know, we've in a sense been robbed, but we have to not let that hold us back. We have to be like, okay, if y'all gonna, you know, keep on robbing us, or y'all gonna keep on, you know, not allowing us to see us, like what you said, well, what are we doing about it? I'm going to create the prototype. I'm going to create it for y'all, for women. I'm going to create it for young girls, you know, because this is, I don't care how long it takes me to get to a platform where my pieces are recognizable nationwide. But guess what? I'm adding at least one piece to the bigger picture.
Oh, yeah.
And where we are represented. We're represented. Period. We're represented, and it's coming. So, okay. Yeah. I just had to say that. Because, you know, we got to do something about it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, change your mentality of worth and level up your value, like Nicki is doing through the prototype.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am. Come on.
How have you changed your mentality?
Oh, girl.
Of worth?
Girl, I've had, and we're going to be here another hour. Because I've had to do it several times. Like, you know, I don't think that it was just one thing that it's not just one thing that you can just do. Like, and I will give y'all this piece where, most of y'all know, like, I'm Nigerian, West African. My dad is Nigerian. My mom is from Republic of Benin. And I went from not being accepted of that. Like, I didn't really accept it through high school. Like, I didn't, accept who I was. Like, I went through, like, a period of, like, okay, yeah, I'm Nigerian American, but, I don't look like it. I don't feel like I look like, I don't speak the language, like, and plus you get made fun of. So it's hard to embrace, you know what I mean? But my mentality shifted, and Nicki, she actually came to my wedding. I don't know, did you come? You didn't come to the African wedding, but did you come? You didn't come to the African, you came to the regular wedding. But it was when I got married where I was introduced to my culture on another level, and it caused me to shift and really know my worth, because when we got married, if y'all don't know the Nigerian culture, like, we do 2 weddings. We do the African wedding first, and then we do the white wedding or whatever. And so when we did the African wedding, it was kind of like, I was like, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I just was like, okay, like, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna, dress the part and whatever. But when, I started getting the pieces made, when I started to put on the Ankara fabric, the lace fabric, the head wraps, the gele, we call it gele. And it just it just did something to me, girl. It transformed me. And I just was like, man, everybody needs to experience this. I don't care if you claim Africa or not. Like, you black, if you black, somewhere down the line, your descendants
is African, okay?
Is African.
Right, stop playing.
Like, period. And so I was like, you know what? Somebody has to experience this. Like, we can't just keep this in a box. Like,
look, I got goosebumps when you said that. Because like, it's true.
It's so true. Like, we can't. And so for me, like, that was finding my worth. And that my mentality had to change. And I had to say to myself, like, I'm worth more than I ever knew. Like, in elementary school, being teased, being bullied, people making fun of your name, people saying, oh, your parents African, and they do like the little African thing. They do like, do they talk like, like, you know what I mean? They do all of that. And it's just like, it makes you not want to shine in that area. Yeah. But I was like, Dad, this is what I was embarrassed of this whole time. This is what I was ashamed of this whole time. Like, this is beautiful. Like, I'm beautiful. Like, stop playing. Like, I'm about to represent. Like, let's go. So, that's why I was like, I'm going to start this African clothing line called Authentic, and I'm going to allow people to experience, the authenticity of Africa, because it's not what people see in the movies. It's not what people think it is. Like, it truly is just having a love for that culture and knowing where you come from. Even if you weren't born there, knowing where you come from and just being able to experience it. So, I had to do that, and I feel like there is a certain level. It's still growing. The value is still going up.
It's not supposed to ever stop.
It's not.
It's not.
It's a work in progress. Work in progress. But, I'm glad you asked me that question, because just shedding light on it so that y'all can see that it's real. It's real to do. It's real to say, I'm going from this mindset to this mindset, and actually doing practical things to change and to help other people see that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's love.
Yeah, girl. Get off my soapbox. But Nicki bought a shirt, a Frantic shirt. Actually.
I sure did.
So, hopefully
she did
post it. If she posts it or whatever, take a picture or whatever, I'm going to show y'all.
I need somewhere to go.
You got.
It's still COVID-19 season.
I know, but
it's okay. I'm gonna hook it up in the house.
Take a little selfie and just be like, COVID, click.
Yes.
And then, so I could share it with the pop.
Yeah,
the girl.
I love it. I love it. I love what it stands for. I love what it represents. And
thank you.
I have the perfect fit for it and everything already. Just,
I'm glad. I can't wait to see you shine, girl, because
likewise.
We gotta be out. See, that's that love right there. That's supporting the art of supporting us, like
genuinely
supporting us, like finding that value and just going after it, you guys. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up because we definitely will stay here and just talk to y'all.
Seriously,
you know, some more. This was a good convo, Nicki, and we definitely looking forward to having you back. Can you tell everybody where they can follow you on social media, your website, or anything like that you want to give?
Yeah, I'll give you guys my Instagram. It's Art By Nimika, ARTBYNIMIKA. Fortunately and unfortunately, I just sold my last product, my piece, on my in my shop. So now I have to re-up on getting some new stuff on there. So if you guys just bear with me, there will be some new products. I have some new t-shirts. I have some even newer t-shirts that I'm working on adding to the collection. I have a lot of things coming, guys. Like,
we looking forward to
like it was said earlier, I have a lot of things that I do. So from the earrings to original pieces to, I mean, the light switches, the clocks, coasters are coming, mugs are coming. Like, I have a lot of stuff coming, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out, see it, and support it.
Yes, support it. Go to her Instagram.
It's genuine.
See what she all about. Like, I'm telling y'all do not want to miss. Like, she's a whole vibe. She's a whole movement, you guys. So y'all definitely go check her out. And also, if you haven't already, go follow Pod 4, the number 4, Yah Girl. I will put the handle in the comments below so that you guys can go follow both of our Instagrams. And we looking forward to catching up with you guys real soon. And yeah, we love y'all.
Sweet. Love is love, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Take
Nicki.
care. No problem.
Peace out, guys.
All right.